How's it going, everyone? RoyalFlush here. Welcome to Meter Management. Any of the information from this video is not advice to buy, hold, or sell any stocks or crypto. Don't fall for any of the spam in the comments. Take some good notes and let's have some fun. Today's subject is time in many areas of the stock market. Now, time as a general thing is just apparent in many areas of life, but I want to focus on the areas where it is very apparent that time is a factor in the stock market. But before we get to that, I want to just demonstrate a couple rounds of one of my favorite fighting games, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. I play with one of my roommates and good friends, Carlos. He goes by ll.nd, and we play 2 sets of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. So the first set is going to be one. So normally in the tournament setting, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is a 3 out of 5 game, but for the sake of time, we make it a 2 out of 3 set, and it's just with standard rules. So go ahead and enjoy this set. 2 out of 3. Or 2 sets. 2 sets of 3.
Back me up when the fists start flying!
Can't escape from crossing fate! Fight!
Win! Let's do this! Let's do this! Fire! With me going! Here I am! With me, girl! Useless! Counter! Sacred arrow! No! One more! Don't move! Counter! Over here! You're pretty good. Lift cross. Let's center. You're pretty good. You're done. Flying swallow. Let's stop. Well done. Oh, sorry. Punishment. I'll take you down. Moving on. I'll take this. Damn. Please. Like one. Shire. Please roll. Let's do this. Let me go. I'll take you down. Can't end like this. You're pretty good. I'll have you now. Come on, just as predicted. Tick, double flash. Shot. Short. One shot. You're pretty good. Let's keep going. Oh, sacred arrow. Better than this one. You can't run from my bullet. Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight! Come on, disappear! See? Stop shit! I still don't trust you. Let's die! Nope! Counter! To the sky! Let's take you down. Might as well. Counter! Sacred Spire! Win! Stop! Clip your wings! Careful now! Storming Counter! Stop shit! Watch out! Storming attack! Changing position! Counter! I still don't trust you. Oh, Pierce! I still don't trust you. Please go! Down! Now I'm brave. What the water? You ready? Let's go! Can still do this. Judgment. In the name of justice. What the what?
Oh my god. Okay. So now we'll start the new set. One thing. And then now in the second set, I change up one thing. I actually changed the time that is allotted for the round from 180 game seconds to 60 seconds. 60 seconds within the game. It's time. Passage of time is a little weird in games, but in this case, it's 60 seconds. So enjoy this one.
Get ready!
No. Do you know about Rampage time though?
Oh.
Will it activate right now?
It usually activates at 80.
Yeah.
So it
that's
should.
why we're...
So it should punch
Can't
instantly.
escape from crossing fate! Fight!
Let's go!
Yeah, we can already start with that.
Changing position. Let's tire that. Let's miss. pairs. Bring it on. With me, I'll be done. Let's go. Expiration. Here I am. With me, careers. Let's go. Let's go. This one's set. First shot. Divine thrust. I'm ready. Flash away. Miss. Slice. You. With me, girl. Counter. You. You're pretty good. Skyset. Come on. Don't take me lightly. The end is nigh. You'll pay twice the look with your wings.
You guys, it's time.
Damn! Please fall! Arrow! Nightblade! Just as predicted! Breathe as one! Finish! Clip your wings! At your feet! Devoting! Devoting! Gotta have you now! Be in life and life! Nightblade! Not that! Close! Nightblade! Shot! Counter!
Already at like 20 seconds game time.
Please, put down...
Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight!
Come on down! Lift crush! Power! Power! Pressure! Turning the tide! Come on down! Come in your way! Shot to blast! Below here! Come in your way! Come on, I still don't trust you! Retreat! Ready shard! Moving yours! Damn! I still don't trust you! Don't breathe as one! Let's go! You're pretty good! Counter! You're pretty good! Counter! I'm right here! Win! Come on, pressure! Lift crush! Let's play out here! Skyfit! I'm right here! We'll be done! You're pretty good! Changing position! We'll be done! Stepping, sorry. Useless! Sacred arrow! I'm right here! What? Ready? Changing position. Counter. Right here. Counter. Light. Sword. Sacred arrow. Purify. Down. My turn then. Time to get serious. Surge. Power. Counter. We're still breathing. Stop. Die. At the ready. Here goes. You're pretty good. Pointless. Back up. Down. Now I'm here. You're pretty good. Power. Still totally late. Sorry. Still breathing. You two need to work on your team.
That's it. So,
Wow.
you see the difference? Like, timemates, I was trying to stand me out. Like,
can really
well, I was trying to lay me out.
I've underestimated your elegance, Phantom Princess.
The whole concept of the
Who
video,
are you
I'm gonna
calling
move
a
on next,
phantom?
so, yeah, so that's the.
Kids
I mean,
these
you want
days
the
have
normal
no respect
set,
for their
but then I want like
elders.
the abnormal set for the time. Basically, it was like against both of us. So you can interpret the fight of, well, just playing fighting games in many ways, but for the sake of how I explain things in my video series, well, the rounds themselves in fighting games can represent many things in the stock market. Basically, how as a trader you have to act with knowing that maybe time isn't always going to be on your side, so you have to act, or else maybe a trade won't go in your favor, or maybe you feel like you get in at a wrong point in time. Many factors. As you can see when we play fighting games, the less time you have, sometimes you have to make some really tough decisions, or you're literally the clock is against you, and also what's against you is what's in front of you. And while the stock market is not really a battle between yourself and other people trading with you, it's really not a race. It's really a battle between it might seem like a battle between you and the market, but sometimes it's a battle between yourself and your own perseverance and your own habits. It's really a personal battle. It becomes more and more as you continue to do it. And sometimes, well, time is also just against you. So I want to focus on the areas of stock market where time is truly a factor. So let's go ahead and start with the basics. As you can see, I'm holding a few stocks. We'll go ahead and look at what's been going on in the last month or so. The market's been in a bit of a downtrend. My most recent video actually focused on how to survive this type of market called the bear trend. But most people, when they think about stocks, they think about investing, which is, you know, a form of playing the stock market. And so you buy a stock and you hold it. You buy, hold, and sell with your intent to profit at some point in time. But how long would you hold is a really important factor here. So I'll go ahead and look at my Google, which is usually it's like one of my foundation stocks that I would put it. But I know I'm going to hold this one for a long time because I do not want to sell this one at a major loss. I'm I'm down almost 3K on this position here, but I know that in the long run it should be able to get back to, you know, its previous highs. You know, this is post split, so you know, maybe I'll sell it back at 140, but in the more current more recent times, you know, even getting it back to 120 per share would be fine. So as an investor, you may hold things for quite a long time, knowing that you should not be expecting to profit off of this unless you bring your average down and buy more shares. So that alone is actually a type of trading called swing trading, where you actually are trying to maximize the gains of a particular, it could be a stock or it could even be an options trade, and hold it for, you know, a set amount of time, and once you meet that price target that you're deciding to profit off of, well, then that's when you would decide to get off. So that alone means that there's time on it, you know, is actually on your side. That's probably one of the major benefits of just buying and holding a stock. You can just buy it and not worry about the current market conditions. But if you're someone who wants to really seek profits in less amount of time, that's when you have to start considering the idea of options trading. Because if you're trying to swing a stock, that could actually take more than days. It could actually take weeks or even months. So, but hopefully, you know, when all things are said and done, that it will retrace to its old highs and can be sold at a reasonable price for profit, whether it be just taking the amount, like for me, for example, that I would make off my being above my cost basis, or you sell all shares that I would own. So that's several ways you can make profit off of swing trading. How I mentioned that holding shares are not affected by time. If you're going to swing in options, those are actually affected by something that's called Theta. So let's go ahead and open up an options trade to help understand what Theta actually is. We'll open it up on the SPY here. This is one of my most commonly traded ETFs. Because of how predictable it is, it has a lot of information. This is the SPY. And now, so Theta is one of the Greeks. So if you open up any option, just buying a put or buying a call option, and even selling puts and selling calls, there's several Greeks here. These are basically like stats for every options that you open up. So we can go ahead and even just look at the near the money ones. Let's say it's a call that we would want. Price of the stock to climb in price. Then if you're above the share price, that means you're slightly out of the money, but you're near it. But Theta here, now this, remember, when we're dealing with options, you have to multiply most of these values here by 100. And so you can see your expiration date again is also a time factor here, but theta is specifically time decay. For as long as you hold a specific option, you multiply this number by 100, it will eat away at the value of that option. So on holding this option alone for September 28th expiration, which is literally tomorrow, this thing would go down $200. So maybe factor in some delta overnight and gamma overnight, and it might have some value, but this is why you do not want to hold options that expire really soon overnight. I mean, assuming you're buying a call or buying a put. But if you're selling options, on the other hand, then that's a different story. Now, selling options is something I normally do. It's when you sell a covered call or do a cash secured put, you can monitor these things. I could even show you. But in the event, let's say I did sell a covered call on this that expired tomorrow, then that would be 184 that I get to keep. And then this theta value would also deteriorate from the current premium that I was paid. So basically though, for theta though, just understand that if you're buying an option, whether it be buying a call or buying a put, theta works against you, and that will actually eat away at the value of your current option. But if you're selling an option, such as doing a cash secured put or doing a covered call, then theta actually does benefit you. Let's look at another factor of options trading here. We'll go back to the SPY. And so when you're trading options, you generally want the stock to move in a specific direction, whether it's neutral or you want the stock to, the share price, we mean here, we want the share price to move up in value or down in value, or sometimes even neutral, as in kind of flat and not really moving. But we're in a market condition where it's more likely to go down than up. So let's go focus on puts then in that case. So let's say you wanted to just make $50 in one trade, which is very possible. It's not too impossible. We'll set the expiration to the 30th. Because when you're dealing with options, you want to give your option expiration. You do want to give your option time to play out. That's why you can literally buy time, but by buying time, and it extends the likelihood of your option expiring in the money, it also does bump up the cost of it. So say if you wanted to buy a put, you can buy a put. Let's go ahead and look at this 365. Let's again focus on the 365. This would actually be an in-the-money put option. So this would already have value. Again, when you're buying put options or call options, generally your objective is to make your starting value go up in value. So if we want to buy a put, we want the share price to go down, and that will increase the worth of our option contract itself. So we can quickly calculate, like for every dollar this thing moves, we would gain $50, and you add this gamma to that delta every single time. And you know, if you wanted to make literally $50, you would just need a $1 move from 363.50 to 362.50. That is very possible. Again, when the stock market is closed, none of these are moving, so it's very different when the market is open. So again, time factor here, very important. So as a day trader, your goal is to maximize your profits, and if you're starting out as a day trader, when you see the stock fluctuate in value and in its own price affecting your options value itself, it gets kind of scary. Like this is what it feels like when you're day trading. You're always on the clock. So you really gotta visualize how to make your plays profitable. And one important thing that my friends and really experienced traders do is actually use the charts. So when we use the charts, as a trader, you have to understand that this information on the screen here is all past information that's trying to help you in the present time. Like, take for example these candlesticks here. These are called Heiken Ashi candles, and every single candle here is a representation of, well, firstly the time interval, and then that in itself is also an average. So each candle here, for example, is the 3-minute. Each candle is representative of 3 minutes of price action, and then it takes the average of that price and forms a candle. And whether it was a positive move, it'll be green and also grow, or if it was a downwards move, then it would be red and kind of take the price downwards. And depending on how significant that change was in that time frame, you'll see here this is all information. Another key point here, every time you change the interval of time here, it has a stronger influence on the stock's actual price movements. So if you're trying to predict a move on the stock, combined with your simple moving averages and your Fibonacci retracement, you're literally using historical data to help you out in the present time. So at first, these lines that you see might just be like kind of confusing, but the more you understand how they work, and the better you draw these lines out and know how these moving averages work, they're basically historical data that act as support and resistance. In short, that's probably the easiest and most concise way I could explain these things. And the further in time value you go, it's a strong representation of the general idea of where the stock is headed. So again, for everyone, if we're on the daily here, every candle is representative of one day. And again, how I mentioned, the stock market is currently in a downtrend. So you can see here that we did have our ups, but now we're going back down. In fact, we're even going lower than the lows we had back in June. So it's a very impactful time to be in the stock market right now. You have to know what you're up against. And so when you're dealing with factors of time, you want to be able to maximize your time making your plays as a trader or even as an investor. Before you execute a trade, there's a few things you want to keep note of. Your expiration date is 1, and 2, the likelihood that your trade is going to be profitable within the amount of time that you're buying that expiration date for. So if you're buying calls or buying puts specifically for day trading, you can buy maybe just a couple of days away, but your objective is to not hold overnight for too long, because Theta is just too strong in decreasing that value. You're literally, again, you're on the clock. So please remember that when you're going to attempt a day trade, even if you're just going to try to make a few, like maybe $10 or $15, 15, or maybe even 100, you have to track your delta and gammas very carefully, and just use the information from the charts to help you identify a good support to buy a call from or a good resistance to buy a put on. It's depending on what you choose, because the market's not going to go in a straight line. There's still going to be some pops here and there. But again, the more time you buy, it might cost more, but it also gives you a more likelihood that your option will actually be in the money and therefore have more worth, and then you can sell at a profit. There's one more concept that I want to help you guys navigate through with regards to time, and it's the difference between market timing and time in the market. Now, so if you're going to make a trade and you want it to be profitable in maybe a short amount of time, and you say that maybe I'm just buying at the bottom here without doing any research or anything whatsoever, and you'll just hope that, I think this is gonna turn around, so I'll just buy it right now. That's timing the market. And so it might be profitable here and there. When I started to trade the SPY, I actually thought I was doing a good job, but I was doing a really bad job. I was sizing my trades really high. So I was like, I think I bought at support. I didn't know how to trade SPY at all, but I did get lucky first few times, and I was like, oh wow, I'm literally up like 1,200. And just like, holding overnight, next day, SPY moves up. So I was buying calls on SPY, and I didn't really understand why I was making profitable trades. And like now that I know that the market is the way it is now, I've been spending more time in the market. And so now, as myself as a trader, and even an investor, I've spent more time just trying to hone my craft. The way I treat stocks now is similar to how I treated most fighting games that I was actually serious about picking up and playing. In the way that myself and Cross were playing that fighting game, Blizzard Cross Tag, while it's not really a game we both play competitively as often as we did back when the game was new, we have a lot of experience playing that game. So we would spend time in training mode, we would go to tournaments, literally we would give our time to getting better at a specific fighting game. And the same goes for being in the stock market. You really do have to give it your time. I think a lot of people, when they get into it, they think that it's going to be easy to make money. But again, they're going in with such a mindset that is not really honed for, the idea of the market's moving up and down. You're looking at the stock market from just one facet, one point of view, but you can make stock money on the stock going up or down or sideways or for, however long periods of time. So the idea of time in the market is literally, it's defined as relying on strategies that aren't affected by guessing the market conditions. I really see it more as being able to adapt and rely on fundamental skills such as reading charts, and just having general knowledge. Because I've learned so much in the last year about trading in the stock market. I would have never known what a covered call was if you asked me at the start of 2021. But now that is a major part of my portfolio, as well as my long hold, which I'll probably be holding for some time until the market recovers. And even now I trade the SPY several times a week, using my day trades too sometimes even. I think it's also worth mentioning that day trades, you're limited to 3 day trades per week. Day trades roll off every 5 trading days. So if you are maxed at 3 and your account's below 25k, you have to make sure those others roll off, or else you have to hold overnight. So as you can see, time really is a factor in the stock market, whether it's day trading, literally same day, you buy an option or even a stock and you swing it hoping it goes up, and then you sell it or even close your option, and then boom, profits. So whether your time is over the course of most of the trading day or even literal down to minutes, you could actually make a few $100s in just a few minutes in the stock market if you buy an option with a high enough delta and the stock moves in your preferred direction. If it goes up $5, you multiply your delta by $5. If it goes down and you buy a put, well then you also add that number of delta times the number of dollars the stock actually moved down. So time really does affect how you play the stock market and how profitable you become. But overall, the more time you spend in the market, the better you'll become. You feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach a man a fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that lifetime could really be your start to financial freedom. So just keep at it, guys. Even if you have some bad trades, just hope you size properly. By sizing, I mean if you're not going to spend all your buying power on a specific option or even a specific stock. make sure it makes sense for you. Understand the premium or the cost to enter a trade, and also know how to close it. Even if you have to close at a small loss and pick it up again, at least you understand now this is what I got to do to improve. Use all your indicators, use all the information that the charts have to show you, because that's based off of historical data. So go ahead and get out there and give it your best with your trades. That's it for me. Let me know what you guys think. How much time do you spend charting stuff on stocks, or what's the next thing that you're really going to try to pour your time into learning in the stock market, whether it's being a trader and an investor? Personally, I think it's always really important to do a little bit of homework. Sometimes, like, the first thing I want to do when I get home is just rechart a few things and just understand the stocks that I want to make money off of a little bit better. So I change the charts on them, make sure everything's looking good and is ready for the next day. But yeah, that's it from me. Let me know what you guys think. Check out some of the videos I got wherever they're right here. Hopefully they're helpful to you. And let me know what you guys want to see in the future, even though I have a few videos lined up in the near future. Okay? But before you guys go, if you want to earn it, you're going to learn it. And in order to get what we desire, you got to jump to the fire. Catch you later.